Chapter 3 to 4. Time skip 1 month. It's been around a month since I've been here, I think. I can't be sure since I have no calendar in this house made of mud. Nor was there even a clock. For the last month, I have only been laying in a baby crib just like right now. It's not a good feeling, I will give you that. There was something very concerning happening to me. At first, when I was born, I soon realized that my memories were hazy and broken. Many pieces of it were missing. I was honestly freaked out, scared that I would forget my family. But fortunately, since I woke up today, I'm feeling a lot better than before. Not only are my memories mostly back, but they are also clearer and sharper than before. Along with the memory of my death, which was pretty unpleasant. Maybe my soul memories were merging with my new brain until now, and it's finally done? I can only speculate. Though the good thing was, with my memories back, I also could control my body a bit better than before. That's good progress for me. Releasing a yawn, I guessed it was time for a nap. I woke up with the sound of crying and soon realized I was the source of the sound. I was in a dilemma. I was alone in this world, far from my mother and brother, far from my enemies who I was supposed to kill. The first one made me sad, the second one made me angry. All this, along with baby hormones, apparently was enough to make me cry like a pig about to get slaughtered. Not a bad thing though. Venting my emotions as a child is better than holding them inside my heart and becoming another edgy Sasuke in the future. Though if things go according to plan, I would be far worse than Sasuke. Anyway, now that I am up, I am hungry. I stopped crying to not waste too much energy until that ISA woman came. After my mother died, I was stuffed inside this house. The old woman from before came a few times to check on me, and that's all. Other than her, another woman, ISA her name, comes to feed me most of the time. She is apparently my late mother's very close friend, maybe even cousin based on some of her words. She fortunately seemed to have a bit of medical knowledge, at least more than the old lady from before who assumed not crying after birth is a good sign. I also confirmed that my father died. Though there was not much to confirm since the old lady from before said my late father had named me Amon. Where is ISA now? I am growing hungry. Very nice woman, but she talks too much, I don't like it. But as annoying as it might be, she's still a good source of information. As it was her annoying talk that let me know that she's my mother's cousin. From exactly those annoying blabbering of hers, I learned that I was born in a tribe. I don't have any blood relatives left. I only have an uncle and a cousin who was born just a few days before me. His name was Wiper. I pulled myself out of my thoughts as I heard the door open with a creak sound. I threw my hands in the air as if trying to reach the ceiling while making weird, holla sounds. Acting like a kid, in other words. General POV. While Amon was acting like a curious baby, the door opened and an old man walked beside a tan-skinned man with tight muscles. Amon was lying down on his crib, so he couldn't see who entered the room. Instead, he perked up his ears, trying to learn how many people were there. Although it was breastfeeding time soon, he easily figured out the one who entered the room wasn't ISA and was in fact 2 people. He didn't know why, but he felt like even without his ears, he could sense them somehow. Soon after, the view of 2 people entered the corner of Amon's vision, confirming his strange feeling. So my guess was right. Is this a perk of being a part of this winged race? Amon thought internally. Even as he was thinking complicated things inside, on the outside, he just kept up his acting, as if he didn't even see them. The 2 men came to a stop after reaching Amon's crib, just as Amon held back a surprised gasp at the appearance of the muscular man. Beside the old man with gray hair and beard, which was nothing interesting except for the dog's skin above his head, the one who picked up Amon's interest stood. He was a large tan man with a tight muscular build. His long black hair lay on his scalp as it flowed down his back. The right side of his body contained many different types of tribal tattoos, and even the right side of his face was covered with the same tattoos. He was wearing a grass skirt, with a rope belt decorated with 3 small ornaments that looked like fangs or claws around his waist. There was another thing. Both of them had small wings on their backs, just like his late mother, that old lady ISA, and himself. Moving on, the muscular man clearly looked like a warrior of some sort, while the old man could have been the chief of this tribe. He wasn't sure about the latter. Then Amon narrowed his eyes over them. Both of them looked very familiar to him all of a sudden. He couldn't point it out where he had seen them though. Chieftain. So this is my nephew? The tan man asked the old man. My little brother sure left a cute baby. The muscular man then picked up Amon and held him at his eye level. However, we are the warrior of Shandora, the protectors of God. We do not need cute, weak-looking men. An intimidating aura left the man's body as Amon stiffened. He was caught off guard by the man's words. That didn't seem a tone an uncle, as he claimed to be, would use. First of all, babies were automatically cute, or is this world different? Amon wanted to struggle, but not like it would matter. He was fucking 1 month old. From ISA's loose mouth, he learned about his uncle and also his cousin of the same age. But this was his first time meeting any of the two, especially his uncle. Now that he was meeting him, a part of him wished otherwise. As if Amon was an insect, the old man who was just referred to as chieftain glared at Amon for a moment before looking at the tan man. You are right, Viper. Just like you and your younger brother, this child is also the descendant of great ancestor Kalgera. He is indeed your nephew. The old man sighed and shook his head. But you know what your traitor brother has done, right? He actually tried to negotiate with that self-proclaimed God to bring an end to this war, he said in an agitated voice. Slowly, each of his words made Amon suspicious. He might know where he is now. Hearing the chief, the bulky man named Viper nodded silently. I know. The chief's demeanor then suddenly changed as he said with a shaking voice. Why, you know, Viper, he was a traitor, so I was forced to pull some strings and eliminate him, in the name of death on the battlefield. His body was shaking. I thought that would be enough to forgive us of the sin he committed, but the recent raids, they are all failing. This must be the wrath of Kalgera. We need to do something. Visible panic was present in the old man's eyes. Amon became very nervous hearing his words and started having a bad feeling about this. The old man then looked at Viper seriously before gulping. Viper, I have sent your brother to his demise. But even after eliminating the traitor and his wife, we are still suffering. Why, you know what that means, right? Viper nodded at this question and replied. That means we have been cursed by Kalgera's divine soul. The chief let out a nervous smile hearing him. Yes, you are right. As expected from you. Because of that, we need to do something. He then pointed towards Amon, who was in Viper's arms. We need to sacrifice this child. Amon cursed in his mind. Then the chief's hand started to shake. But I'm scared. Just because I indirectly killed his father, a descendant of Kalgera, so many bad things are happening to the tribe. Now, if I were to take this kid's life with my own hands, the old man's staff fell on the floor from his shaking hand. He then held Viper by the shoulder and started to shake him violently. Viper. You are his uncle, one of his only blood relatives left in this world. Furthermore, you are a Kalgera descendant yourself. So, you'll be probably fine after sacrificing him. You have to do it now, for the sake of the tribe. The chief had a horrified expression on his face, and when Amon entered the corner of his eyes, he made a face as if he was looking at a demon. His gaze frightened Amon, making him clench his teeth gum in anger and frustration. At first, he didn't care about dying for a second time, but now it's a different case. He has found out his current location, a world he knows very thoroughly. He can achieve great powers in this world, but is he going to die again? Amon? MC, POV. As this child's only blood left, you should be the one to grant him the divine opportunity of being sacrificed for the tribe's well-being. Viper. Why you need to do it with your own hands? The old bastard chief said while grabbing Viper by the shoulder. Is this another end? Am I going to be sacrificed for people I don't even know of? Then, should I give up and just DNO? I won't die this time. Not again. But, what can I do? I'm just a baby. The man holding me, Viper, looked at the old bastard as if looking at a coward piece of trash. Maybe he won't kill me. He is my uncle after Alug. Damn it. Did he just nod his head? Nodding his head, Viper then raised me up while holding me by the armpits. He then stared at me with eyes filled with pity for a while. Damn it. Is this real? I'm going to die just after being reborn. This guy's going to kill me. But what's with his pity-filled eyes? I swear. If I survive this, I'll gouge your eyes out. My thoughts were interrupted by Viper's deep voice. You unfortunate child. Even though you have nothing to do with my brother's foolish efforts, you need to be judged for his sins. As your uncle, I don't want to kill you, however. As the leader of Shadia warriors, I need to decide for the whole tribe. He sounded as if he's going to do an honorable job. And I was right. Kalgera, Shadia, and these winged people. This is really the One Piece world, isn't it? Fuck. The realization is useless if I die right here. I need to get out of this. Yes, somehow I need to get out. But I have no power. I'm fucking 1 month old for fuck's sake. I don't want to die so early. Somebody, help me. My face paled and morphed into a frightened expression. I involuntarily started to sweat profusely. Since the only thing I can do to save myself is to scream out loud and cry, I will do just that. Wah wah wah. I really hope someone comes to save me. That damn guy named Viper frowned hearing my loud and annoying cry. Don't worry. I will finish you without any pain. Or at least I'll try to. He said as he brought one of his hands close to my neck, while the other was still holding me by the armpit. Then he started to strangle me strongly. Wah! Yug! Damn it! I can't breath. This is painful. I have died once already. I know how painful it is. My consciousness started to fade, and I started to lose my sense of hearing too. Is this the definitive end? The world started to go dark. The familiar feeling of cold enshrouded my existence. I was close to death. Again. Stop it, Viper. But luckily, it seems today isn't my end. General POV. Stop it, Viper. A feminine voice entered the room from across the door. Hearing this, Viper moved his hands from Amon's neck, allowing him to finally take a breath. Ha, ha, ha. After taking some deep breaths, Amon's vision was restored. He was then able to see his savior. It was the woman named Isa. Isa? Luckily these two came just before my breastfeeding period, or else I don't know what might have happened. And now that I'm sure this is the One Piece world, I also know who Isa is. Thinking this, Amon started to cry again, trying to get Isa's attention. Wahaha! He didn't feel safe in Viper's arms. Hearing him, Isa looked at Viper with an angry frown. Viper, you bastard, what do you think you are doing? Don't you feel shame trying to kill your own nephew? Do you think the tribe will survive after you kill a descendant of Klagara with your own hands? We will receive God's judgment. Saying this in an angry voice, Isa snatched Amon from Viper's grasp. Just as Isa took Amon in her arms, he stopped wasting his precious crocodile tears and hugged her tightly. Although it was just an act from Amon's side, Isa felt her heart melt from the hug from such an innocent child. Remembering her days with Amon's mother, she felt more attached. Isa lightly kissed Amon's head, while thinking, how can someone even think of killing such an angelic child? She then glared at Viper again. Glancing at Amon's tiny face for a moment, Isa had only one thought. The ones in front of her were nothing but heartless monsters. Stroking Amon's head, she hugged him tightly. On the other hand, veins popped up on Viper's head. He always hated these overly lovely-dovely women. Women were created to give birth and serve men. They were born as weak, always to be below men. Or at least that's what Viper believes. Woman? Who gave you the permission to shout at me? Saying this, Viper swiftly launched his hand towards her neck. While Isa didn't have any time to react, he grabbed her neck with one of his hands and strongly clenched it. Lifting her up in the air in the process, Isa struggled, but Viper's strong grasp was too much for her. Ahing! Isa groaned in pain, unable to get out of his grasp. But since she was holding Amon with her hands, she couldn't even fight back. Amon just kept observing the situation while hugging her strongly to not fall on the floor. He didn't have anything that he can do here, so instead of bringing attention to himself by crying out loud, he decided to stay silent. He will definitely die if he gets grabbed in the neck again. However, at that point, even foam was coming out of Isa's mouth. Seeing this, veins popped up in the chief's head too. As he shouted, Viper, what do you think you are doing? Stop this right now. That's my granddaughter you are trying to kill. The chief's angry shout was enough to stop Viper. He removed his hands but still threw Isa on the floor with Amon. Thud! Isa fell on her butt. As she held her neck to relieve her pain, Viper gritted his teeth in annoyance. He really would have killed Isa today. He needed someone to vent anger on since he was very angry after the recent battle with the God's militia. But unfortunately, Isa is the chief's granddaughter, so he couldn't finish her. The chief was angry, but instead of punishing him for hurting his granddaughter, he just sighed. Viper, what you were about to do would have done great loss to our tribe. Isa is not only my granddaughter, but she's also one of the important people of our tribe. The healthy food and medical help mostly come from her. If she died today, you would have done great damage to ourselves. The village chief said with a calm voice, but Amon could see through his suppressed glare towards Viper. Although he wasn't nearly as powerful in strength compared to Viper, he was the chief after all. So he can stop Viper from doing stuff sometimes. According to ancient history, even the leader of the Shandia warriors has to obey the chieftain. However, the chief wasn't so brave to try and punish Viper. He gulped silently and thought, although many things are stated in ancient history, I'm not sure if this crazy Viper won't go out of his mind and kill me if I try to punish him. I need to be low-key. Chief thought with his cowardly nature. After thinking about what he was about to do, Viper stayed silent for a while. He was about to kill Amon, but there were many excuses to justify his execution, most importantly, him being the traitor's son. But in Isa's case, not only did he not have any excuse to use, rather he was on the loose end. He gave Isa a side glance and narrowed his eyes. Fine, I'll let her go this time, but you must warn her to not mess with me ever again. Saying this in his deep voice, Viper started to walk away. While walking, Viper suddenly stopped. By the way, I wouldn't have killed the child in the first place. After all, although his late father made a great mistake, as the woman said, I can't bear the punishment of killing a descendant of Kalgara. He then smirked. I was just testing his durability. And most importantly, he is my nephew after all. Amon's blood started to boil hearing this. This bastard, just you wait 8 years. I'll kill you. I'll break all your bones and murder you right in front of everyone. Viper then looked at the Amon who was resting on Isae's arms. Besides, my son was also born a few days ago. When he will become the leader, he will need a trusted right-hand man. This child will do the job. He said as if he was sure that his son would become the leader, and then finally walked away. Hearing his words, the chief shook his head.
Seek, Isa.
You better take care of the child. Since his only relative let him live, I won't say anything. I don't have a saying on this anyway. Isai silently nodded as the tribe chief also walked away. Silence fell upon the room, as Isai kept gazing at the door while Amon started to plan how he should kill the chief. Sai, you poor child. Even though you lost your parents, you still have to live in this messed up tribe. May God bless you. She shook her head for the last time and caressed Amon's head. Amon just stayed silent. Looking at her, he was sure the tribe wasn't that messed up, however. She may be the only one. May God bless me? Is that supposed to be a joke? If God existed, Amon already hated him. However, the God that the Shandya people believe in was nothing but an oversized snake in reality. Rather, he had other plans in his head. Unfortunately, I won't be able to rest after this day. I will have to get busy in my mind. Now that I have information on my current world, and even my current location, I must decide for the future from now. There are many dangers in the world of One Piece. To counter them, I have to prepare myself in every way. It was time to rise, for one last time.